howdy. Welcome to Mo's World, the baseball podcast. Yes, it's another baseball podcast where we talk about baseball like a few friends sitting at the bar.
Awesome!
Your input means a lot to us, so please feel free to share your comments. If you enjoy the podcast, be sure to tell your friends about it. This is our 11th episode on Mo's World, the baseball podcast. And I want to extend a big thank you to all our returning listeners for your continued support. For those of you who are new here, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy the show. On this week's episode, let's dive into an old-time TV favorite, This Week in Baseball. I'll provide my perspective on the show with a unique twist as we cover a few interesting topics. This episode brings me back to the days when my friends and I would gather at Shotz's bar in Hicksville, New York, discussing where our favorite teams stand in the rankings and whether they have a shot at making the playoffs. This topic really captures the essence of the show, just a bunch of friends chatting about baseball. So let's get started. We are discussing the week of August 16th through 23rd today. I tried to finish this episode as late as I could before posting, so these comments are up until Thursday night's games. Nice schedule this week with some good rivalry games. I'm thinking going into this week, we are going to have a nice wild card race in the National League between the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Braves. When was the last time we actually saw 3 teams from the National League West make the playoffs? I have to admit, I am impressed with the play of the Diamondbacks and the Padres. I think there's a change going on this year in San Diego with Mike Shildt as manager. The Padres look much better, and let's take a look at some of the hot teams of date. Now, a hot July, we had the Diamondbacks leading the pack at 17-8. The Mets was 17-10. The Athletics 15-9. The Pirates at 15-10, and the Padres at 13-9. Those teams paced everybody else in the month of July. Now, just recently, from July 16th to August 16th, the Diamondbacks were 20-6. And the Padres were 19-5 to get back in that race with the Dodgers. But the Dodgers quietly are at 16-10, and the Yankees at 15-10 over that same period. So it's been interesting because a lot of the top teams have all been kind of hanging around for everybody. The Phillies were losing, the Braves were losing, so it was just a wash in the NL East on that division. Now, looking at some of the hot players since the All-Star break, we've got Vladimir Guerrero has had a quiet but productive second half of the season. He's leading hitter with 11 home runs and 25 RBIs. We have all heard about the streak that Judge is on, but Vlad is producing. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is definitely the new George Brett of the Royals. It's gonna be fun seeing him lead that team for years. Just too bad Judge is having the MVP season he is, eliminating any chance of Bobby Witt Jr. winning that award. As always, take a look at our YouTube page to see more of a graphical look of our show today. So, let's take a look at This Week in Baseball. Starting with the series, the Kansas City Royals versus the Cincinnati Reds. On Friday, we are now at the point where every game is crucial for teams. Can the Royals make it to the playoffs this year? Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino are having incredible seasons so far. Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting over 340 with 84 RBIs, and he ranks 8 in barrels BBE at 10.9% and number 7 with a .411 XW OBA. I think I just threw some new stats at you. Just testing you, cause it's the topic of our next episode. Now, I think the Royals are going to stay competitive and battle for a third wildcard spot. They had a big series with the Reds earlier this week, but the Reds are now 9 games out of first and 5 games back in the wildcard race. But despite that, they were an exciting team this year. In Game 1 of the series, the Royals won 7-1 over the Reds, with Bobby Witt Jr. leading the team by going 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 3 runs scored. Vinny Pasquantino also contributed with his 18th home run, which resulted in 3 RBIs. Game 2 of the series saw the Royals dominate with a 13-1 victory over the Reds, including a 7-run third inning. Darian Blanco had an outstanding game, going 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. These victories put the Royals at 13 games over 500 now. Game 3 on Sunday saw the series, the Royals easily taking care of the Reds 8-1. The Royals have won 4 in a row now, moving to only 3 games out of first while maintaining the third and last wild card spot. Over in Pittsburgh, the Seattle Mariners and the Pittsburgh Pirates got together. The Seattle Mariners missed an opportunity to walk away from the Houston Astros earlier in the year. As a result, they now need to start winning series to improve their standing. At the end of the week, they sit 4 games behind the Astros in the standings, and the gap is growing. The Astros' 8-game winning streak last week strengthened their position. The Mariners' 7-8 record in August isn't very impressive. In my opinion, the Mariners are likely out of the running. As for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're done as well, but they surprised me early on. I was hoping for some better played games. Paul Skeens helped the Pirates snap a 10-game losing streak by starting the first game of the series, as Skeens pitched 6 innings, allowing only 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 runs while striking out 6, and that was a 7-2 win over the struggling Mariners. Saturday saw the Pirates handle the Mariners again, winning 7-2. New addition at the deadline, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, hitting his 8th home run and with an RBI. And Rowdy Tellez was 2 for 4 with a run scored and his 10th home run, knocking in 3 RBIs. On Sunday, the Mariners snapped their 5-game skid behind George Kirby's strong start, throwing 6 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs with 5 Ks, as the Mariners took care of the Pirates 10-3. But the Mariners face an uphill battle in overtaking the Astros. Now over in Detroit, we saw the Yankees and the Detroit Tigers. After the Yankees lost that first game of the series against the White Sox, but ended up winning 2 of 3 games leading up to this current series, Juan Soto is on fire. And Aaron Judge seems to be on track for hitting 58-plus home runs. However, I have concerns about the rest of the team, especially their closer, Clay Heart Attack Holmes. In the first game of the series, the Yankees received a solid pitching performance from Garrett Cole. He threw 6 innings with 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, and no runs against the Tigers. Oswaldo Peraza, who was called up, wasted no time in hitting his first home run of the season into the left field seats, giving the Yanks an early 2-0 lead in the 5th inning. Aaron Judge hit his 44th home run of the year in the 8th inning, making it 3-0. Clay Heart Attack Holmes had an easy 1-2-3 ninth to secure his 26th save. The Yankees were shut out in Game 2, losing 4-0, and both teams played a special game hosted by MLB in Williamsport for the Little League Classic. The Tigers won that game 3-2 behind Tarek Skubal, advancing to 15-4 on his season as he went 6 innings with 3 hits, 1 run, and 5 Ks. Of course, Clay Heart Attack Holmes blew his 10th save opportunity of the year as the Yanks lost another series. The excitement on the Yankee side was the promotion of Jason Dominguez for just 1 game, and Marcus Stroman had a nice game going 6 innings, giving up 4 hits, no runs, and 5 Ks, leaving with a 1-0 lead. Now, over in Tampa we go. We've got the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Arizona has been playing well until they came to Tampa. They have an 11-5 record so far in the month of August, so you can officially say that this team is a second-half team. They're only 2 games behind the Dodgers, and they are set to play the Dodgers from August 30th to September 2nd. So if they stay close, that could be their moment. Ketel Marte is having an outstanding season with 30 home runs, 81 RBIs, and a .298 average with a .930 OPS. However, it's not just a one-man show, with Christian Walker, Jock Peterson, Eugenio Suarez all having clutch years. So in Game 1 of the series, the Rays shocked the Diamondbacks with 4 late runs, beating them 5-4. In Game 2, the Rays had an easy 6-1 win over the Diamondbacks, who must be missing home. After being on fire, the Diamondbacks were swept by the Rays on Sunday, losing 8-7 on walk-off style by the Rays. Over in Milwaukee, we've got the Cleveland Guardians and the Milwaukee Brewers. Nice, this series has been tough. The Guardians are struggling with a 7-9 record for the month of August, which has opened the door for the surging Twins. The Brewers have been scoring some runs lately, especially after sweeping the Dodgers late last week. This series was highly anticipated, and both teams definitely match up well. In the first game of the series, the Brewers jumped out early against the Guardians, leading 5-0 after 6 innings and holding on for a 5-3 win. In the second game of the series, the Brewers took control early and held on for a 2-1 victory, as William Contreras hit his 17th home run, a line drive into the left field seats to clinch the win. Sunday, the Brewers clinched the sweep by beating the Guardians 2-0. The Boston Red Sox versus the Baltimore Orioles. This is a series I have been waiting for. I am sure the Yankee fans are rooting for the Red Sox in this series. In Game 1 on Thursday night, the Orioles featured a new sensation of a starter, Zach Eflin. Eflin has delivered 4 quality starts for the Orioles, winning all of them. The 30-year-old right-hander achieved a season-high 8 strikeouts over 6 innings, allowing only 1 run, leading the O's to a 5-1 victory at Camden Yards. Game 2 saw a slugfest on Friday night, with the Red Sox edging past the Orioles with a 12-10 victory. Duran of the Red Sox had an impressive game, going 3 for 4 with a double and his 15th home run, while Rafael Devers had another great game, going 2 for 4 with 2 runs, a double, and his 26th home run with 3 RBIs. The combined hits from both teams totaled 31. Jackson Holliday had a standout performance, going 4 for 5 with 3 runs scored, a triple, and delivering a crucial 2-out RBI. Corbin Burns, who rarely experiences losses, fell to 12-5 as he gave up 8 earned runs, increasing his ERA to 3.10. It was truly an exciting game, and on Saturday, the Red Sox convincingly beat the Orioles 5-1, as both teams' offenses seemed worn out from the previous night's slugfest. Both starting pitchers performed well, pitching into the 6th inning and allowing minimal runs, but it was the Red Sox offense that secured the game, with Rafael Devers hitting his 27th home run late in the 8th inning. The series ended on Sunday and saw the Orioles getting some timely hits and beating the Red Sox 4-3, holding on in the late innings. Going down to Citi Field, Miami Marlins versus the New York Mets, also known as the hot and cold Mets. Well, they need to keep winning series in order to stay ahead of the Braves, currently 9 games behind and fading. It seems like their only hope is to secure a wild card spot, especially after losing 2 of 3 games to the A's last week. However, they are now 3 games behind in the wild card spot. In the first game of the series, the Mets secured a 7-3 win by scoring 6 runs in the 4th inning. Jeff McNeil hit his 12th home run and Brandon Nimmo his 17th home run, both in that big 4th inning. In the second game, the Mets defeated the Marlins 4-0. Francisco Lindor hit his 24th home run and Pete Alonso his 27th. Luis Severino pitched a complete game shutout, giving up only 4 hits while striking out 8. This was his first complete game since 2018. Now, Sunday's game saw the Marlins come back and beat the Mets 3-2, and the loss put the Mets 9 games behind the Phillies and 2 games behind the Braves for the final wildcard spot. I'm sorry, but I think I hear. Yep, the fat lady is singing, Met fans. Sorry. Now, Minnesota Twins versus the Texas Rangers. The Twins are currently playing well as they attempt to catch up to the Guardians. However, the Rangers appear to be unlikely to make the playoffs to defend their World Championship title. They are 12 games behind for the wild card, and it's been a typical year for Byron Buxton and Royce Lewis, who are great when healthy, but unfortunately they don't stay healthy often. It's a mystery how this team manages to win. In the first game of the series, the Twins won 4-3. The big blow came in the fifth inning when first baseman Carlos Santana hit his 17th home run, a 3-run shot that gave the Twins the lead and resulted in the removal of the Rangers starting pitcher, Andrew Heaney. After 4 1/3, Heaney had given up 5 hits, 4 runs, and struck out 8, while allowing 2 home runs. In the second game, the Twins took the lead in the 8th inning and managed to hold on for the win at 5-2. On Sunday, the Twins missed the opportunity for the sweep, falling to the Rangers 6-5. Now, down in Houston, Texas, the Astros had their 8-game winning streak snapped in the first game of the series with the White Sox, 5-3. White Sox starter Garrett Crochet was pulled after only 4 innings, 4 hits, with 9 Ks and 55 pitches. White Sox interim manager Pedro Grifol said that they are concerned with his rising pitch count. What I smell here is some bullshit. Crochet is having a great season. He's currently 6-8 with a 3.23 ERA, a 101 WHIP, and is second in baseball with 160 strikeouts against 26 walks in 114 1/3 innings. He leads all major league pitchers in F-WAR at 4.1 and is second in FIP at 2.41. Many expected him to be traded at the deadline, and now we know why he wasn't. He only threw 12 2/3 innings during the 2023 campaign as he recovered from elbow surgery. Crochet made a threat to the White Sox that he wants to remain a starter for the rest of the season, but will refuse to pitch in the postseason unless he has a contract extension in hand. Oh, really? Fuck him. I'd pitch him till his arm falls off. What balls that takes? Your team already sucks and you pull this shit? Wow. Unbelievable. Well, the Astros prevailed in Game 2, winning 6-1, destroying the White Sox, as they should. On Sunday's series-ending game, the Astros shut down the White Sox 2-0 as they get ready for a series with the Red Sox at home. Let's see what the Dodgers are doing in St. Louis. I believe that with Mookie Betts back and playing right field as he should, the Dodgers will have a smooth path to the playoffs. However, it is worth noting that both the Diamondbacks and Padres are still putting pressure on the Dodgers, as their lead has been narrowed down to 3 games. So it's possible that I could be completely wrong about this division. The Dodgers arrived in town after losing 3 games in a row to the Brewers, so things were a bit shaky. The Cardinals, on the other hand, well, they're out of the picture, trailing by 10 games for first place and 4 games behind the wild card position. Game 1 saw the Dodgers make a remarkable comeback, scoring 5 runs in the 6th inning to take a 7-6 lead, holding on for the victory. Game 2 didn't go as well for the Dodgers, as the Cardinals beat them 5-2. Andre Palente delivered a dominant performance, pitching 7 innings and allowing just 4 hits and 2 runs, while striking out 5 Dodgers. Holding the Dodgers to just 4 hits surely increases your chances of grabbing a win. Final game of the series had Dodger fans able to breathe again as the Dodgers took care of the Cardinals 2-1. Now heading out to Colorado, the San Diego Padres versus the Colorado Rockies. The Padres entered this series 2 games behind the Dodgers and 4.5 games ahead in the wildcard race. A playoff spot is looking good if they can stay hot. Their nice 9-1 stretch from last week leading into this series sure helped. Who is this Jackson Profar this year? What a year at 19 home runs, 72 RBIs, a .295 average, And with Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth, they're all being productive. I gotta say, they are playing well, especially with a starting staff of Dylan Cease, Michael King leading the way. And Matt Waldron's having a healthy year and not pitching too bad as well. It pays to have 3 starters with over 135 innings pitched, for sure. So, moving on to Game 1. Who wins? The Rockies stopped the Padres with a 7-3 win. It's baseball. You just never know. Matt Waldron got bombed early, going 5 innings, giving up 7 hits and 6 runs, and 2 HRs, taking the loss. Game 2 of the series had the Padres cruise to an 8-3 win. Manny Machado had a big day, going 4 for 4 with a double, as Dylan Cease was enough to get his 12th win. Game 3 of the series saw the Padres lose another opportunity as they lost 2 of 3 to the Rockies. Now, they head back home to take on the Twins. And in Los Angeles, we have the Braves playing the Angels. Okay, I get it. What is wrong with the Braves again? My question, though, is what's wrong with Max Fried? It is looking more and more like Max Fried will not be returning to the Braves. Since the All-Star break, Fried is 1-4 with a 4.78 ERA in 7 starts, while never getting past the 5th inning. After spending his first 8 years with the Braves, I think he will be moving on as a free agent. Fried is making $15 million this year in his age 30 season, and he did nothing to eliminate the Blake Snell effect. Will he be healthy? Is he still that dominant pitcher? I don't see a $25 million 5-year contract in his future. More like 3 years and $60 million. It's no wonder the Braves are playing like shit. I'm at the point of the season where I'm surprised by their play. Chris Sale is for real this year, and it's pretty wild to see how good he can be when healthy. But if you can't thrive against the Angels, the Braves are floating around 8 games back of the Phillies, who have allowed an opening for the Braves with their poor play of late. The Braves are only 6-8 in August and just wasting time. So I think it's a little late, but the Braves continue to hold the 3rd wildcard spot as of this week. They are looking more and more like a one-and-done playoff team. It's amazing how 2023, they all had great years, and this year they are struggling each series. Different team from a year ago, and it's not all Acuna being missing from the lineup. Spencer Schwellenbach made the start for the Braves against Jose Soriano of the Angels in Game 1 of the series. Both pitchers were dealing early in the game, combining to give up only 2 hits through the 4th inning, where the Braves scored 2 in the top half, and the Angels responded with a 2 spot to tie it 2-2 after 4. But the Angels scored in the 6th and hung on for a 3-2 victory. Saturday night saw the Braves offense looking like 2023 again, as Marcell Ozuna continued his assault on the baseball, going 3 for 3 with 3 runs, his 36th home run, and 3 RBIs. Michael Harris II, a much-missed sight in the lineup, also went 3 for 5 with 2 runs, a double, and an RBI. Of course, Chris Sale, staking his claim on the Cy Young, pitched 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, 6 hits, and 10 Ks, lowering his ERA to 2.62, while moving to 14-3 for the season. The Braves on Sunday took care of the Angels 3-1 behind a gutsy performance by Craig Morton, evening his record at 7-7, throwing 5 1/3, giving up only 2 hits and 1 run and 7 Ks. Now, the Washington Nationals in Philadelphia versus the Phillies. The Phillies' job here is to just finish off winning another series. They took care of business in Game 1 of the series, beating the Nationals 3-2 behind Trey Turner's big game, going 4 for 5 with a run scored and 1 RBI. Aaron Nola pitched 6 2/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, no runs, and 4 Ks in limiting the Nationals. Game 2 had the Phillies defeat the Nationals 5-1, increasing their lead over the Braves to 8 games. It was all Christopher Sanchez as he improved to 9-8, pitching a complete game, only giving up 2 hits, a run, and 4 Ks. This was Sanchez's 2nd complete game of the year. Sunday's game, so the Phillies dropped this one 6-4 to the Nationals. Now, on to Atlanta to face the Braves in the big series this coming week. Alrighty, we're going to start with August 19 through 21 key games. Arizona Diamondbacks at the Miami Marlins. The Diamondbacks were the hot team going into Tampa this past weekend, but got swept by the Rays. They got back on track with a 9-6 victory over the Marlins Monday night in Miami, as they rode the hot hand of backup catcher Adrian Del Castillo, who went 2 for 4 with a run scored, a grand slam, and 6 RBIs on the day. Tuesday night saw the Diamondbacks take care of the Marlins 3-1, as they hope to inch closer to the Dodgers. Game 3 of the series concluded with the sweep and a 10-8 win for the Diamondbacks, who just so happened to lead the majors in runs scored. Go figure. Baltimore Orioles at New York Mets. Woohoo! 1969 World Series matchup. The Mets walked off this game with a 421-foot bomb of a home run in the bottom of the ninth by Francisco Alvarez, taking the first game of the series 4-3. Tuesday night had the Orioles piling it on early against the Mets as the Orioles won 9-5. The Orioles banged out 11 hits in the game all throughout the lineup. Wednesday, Game 3 of the series, had the Mets beating the Orioles 4-3, taking 2 of 3 over the Orioles. And in Houston, we had the Boston Red Sox at the Houston Astros. Game 1 saw the Astros defense making 4 errors on the evening, but they held on to take the first game 5-4, scoring 1 run in the 8th to tie and walking it off in the bottom of the 9th to win. Game 2 of the series had the Red Sox come back late in the 8th inning on Jarren Duran's 4-for-4 performance with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs, the last hit producing the lead over the Astros 6-5, who hung on for the victory. Game 3 of the series saw Justin Verlander make his long-awaited start for the Astros, as Verlander pitched 5 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs with 6 Ks. But it wasn't enough, as the Red Sox won 4-1, taking the series 2 of 3 and cooling off the Astros. Los Angeles Angels at the Kansas City Royals. The Royals defeated the Angels at home Monday night 5-3, as Seth Lugo pitched 7 innings, giving up 4 hits, 2 runs with 8 Ks. Lugo is now 14-7 on the year, and the Royals have won 5 straight. Game 2 saw a rare loss for the Royals, breaking their 5-game winning streak as the Angels beat them 7-5. Another big game for the dynamic duo of Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino, as they combined to go 5-for-7 with 3 runs scored, 5 hits, and 4 RBIs. Game 3 of the series saw the Royals beat the Angels 3-0 behind Michael Lorenzine's crisp 7 innings pitched, giving up 4 hits, 2 walks, and 5 Ks, and earning his 7th victory of the year. The Royals will take on the Phillies next at home, as they are only 2.5 games behind the Guardians and controlling the second wildcard position. Minnesota Twins at the San Diego Padres. The Twins enter this series 11-6 in the month of August. The Padres, they've won 9 consecutive series, but that came to an end in Colorado. They now sit 11-5 for the month of August, making a statement. Padres took Game 1 of the series, winning 5-3 against the Twins, riding the arm of Michael King to victory. King went 6 innings, giving up only 4 hits, 2 runs with 6 Ks, as he lowered his ERA to 3.18 while improving to 11-6 on the season. Game 2, Tuesday night, had the Padres battle the Twins, beating them 7-5. Game 3, the final game of the series, was Wednesday evening, as the Twins downed the Padres 11-4. A 7-run inning never hurts, as the Twins took an early 8-0 lead in the 4th inning. The Padres took 2 of 3, slowing down the Twins' pursuit of the Guardians. The Seattle Mariners at the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, you gotta ask, with all the issues the Dodgers seem to have this year, do they really care about the Mariners? Game 1, ho-hum, Dodgers 2-hit the Mariners, riding a solo Gavin Lux home run and a 2-run home run by Mac Muncy in the 7th inning to beat the Mariners 3-0 before 51,348 fans at Dodger Stadium. Game 2 saw the Mariners beat the Dodgers 5-2, but they are a dead team walking. Game 3, Wednesday, had Jack Flaherty starting his 4th game for the Dodgers as he is undefeated at 2-0. Going up against Logan Gilbert of the Mariners at 7-9, 2.96 ERA for the season. Flaherty pitched 5 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, a walk, and 5 Ks, and earning the victory. The Dodgers pulled away in the 5th inning with a 5-run assault as they hung on for the series-clinching 8-4 win. Now, on Thursday morning, the Mariners fired their manager, Scott Servais, ending the brutal fall from June 19th, where they led the American League West with a 10-game lead, to today being 5 games behind the Astros. They went 20-32 for a .385 winning percentage, which was the lowest of any other team besides the shit White Sox. Talk about a mercy killing. The Dodgers were in the news on Thursday as well, designating outfielder Jason Heyward for assignment. Heyward lived off his one good year in 2012 with the Braves as he hit .282 with 27 home runs and 82 RBIs in his age 23 season. Heyward had a 15-year career, and it should be over as his production has long ceased to exist. Now the big series, the Cleveland Guardians at the New York Yankees. The Guardians had a 5-game winning streak stopped by the Brewers, and the Yankees have floated around 500, playing at an 8-8 clip in August. But Game 1 on Tuesday saw Luis Gil last only 3 innings as the Yankees ran out of pitches in an extra inning affair of 12. The Yankees lost to the Guardians 9-5, imploding in the 12th, giving up 6 runs. The Yankees had many chances, especially in the bottom of the 11th, but DJ LeMahieu continues to struggle at the plate. Why do the Yankees play him? Game 2, Wednesday, had a surprising performance by Nestor Cortes. He pitched 7 innings, giving up 3 hits, 0 runs, with 4 Ks, riding the tag team of Soto and Judge as they combined to go 4 for 6, with 4 runs scored, a double, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs. Sounds like a good formula for a win. Game 3, Thursday afternoon, had Garrett Cole going 6 innings, giving up 1 hit, no runs, walking 5, and striking out 5 as the Yankees defeated the Guardians 6-1. Aaron Judge continued his assault on the baseball with home run number 48. And Giancarlo Stanton laced a 3-run home run to center to clinch the win. The Yankees won 2 out of 3 of games in this potential playoff meeting. Moving to Atlanta as the Philadelphia Phillies faced the Atlanta Braves, with Austin Riley looking like he will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken wrist. I love that they picked up Gio Urshela to step in. Great move. Game 1 Tuesday night had the Braves beating the Phillies 3-1. Zach Wheeler pitched 6 innings, giving up only 2 runs while striking out 8, but it wasn't enough as Ronaldo Lopez pitched his first game for the Braves since July 28th, and he threw 5 innings, giving up 1 run and having a career-high total of 10 Ks. Grant Holmes, who was holding Lopez's spot on the staff, pitched 2 shutout innings for the win. Game 2 on Wednesday had Aaron Nola 11-6 going up against Max Fried 7-7. The Phillies hung on for a 3-2 win as Max Fried threw 7 innings of 4-hit, 2-run, 4K ball, but it wasn't enough as the Phillies scored the winning run in the 8th inning to even the series. Game 3, the final game of the series, saw the Braves' new sensation, Spencer Schwellenbach, at 3-2, 286 in his last 7 starts, going up against Christopher Sanchez, who was coming off a complete game victory against the Nationals, only giving up 2 hits and 1 run with 4 Ks. On the horizon is a rematch with the Phillies in Philly on August 29th through September 1st. I have neglected to point this out, but does anyone realize Marcell Ozuna of the Braves is at 309, 37 home runs, 94 RBIs, which is only 2 home runs behind Ohtani, which would give him the National League Triple Crown. He's having a hell of a season. Now, the August 22 new series games. Houston Astros at Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are only 9-9 in August as they are not pulling away from the Yankees. This week was a tough one, going up against the Red Sox, Mets, and now Astros. The Astros? Geez, if you told me a month ago this team would be clicking like it is now in August with a 13-5 record, I would have seriously doubted you. Game 1 of the series had Corbin Burnes of the Orioles trying to get back on track after a rough previous start against Boston. But he was hit hard again, going only 5 2/3 innings, giving up 8 hits, 5 runs, and taking the loss, as the Astros beat the Orioles 6-0. New York Mets at San Diego Padres. The Mets are coming off a series win against the Orioles, and the Padres come into the series 13-5 for the month of August. Game 1 matchup saw Luis Severino, who was coming off his complete game shutout against the Marlins, and the Padres' Dylan Cease. This was a late game, but had the Mets leading early in the game 3-0 after 4 innings, as Severino has thrown 4 innings of no-run ball. This should be a good series. That's our recap for the week, our version of This Week in Baseball. So, who had the big week? Were you surprised at what teams folded and what teams are hanging in there? I'm still sticking with these thoughts. The American League East, the Orioles and Yankees are going down to the 3-game series in Yankee Stadium on September 24, 25, and 26. Orioles win the division by 2. In the American League Central, the Guardians are going to squeeze it out, while the Twins make the playoffs as the second wild card and the Royals as the third wild card on the last day of the season. But honestly, you gotta love the Royals. Watch out 2025. American League West, the Astros are gonna walk away with this division. No wild cards from here. Over in the National League East, the Phillies are going to wrap up the division by mid-September. National League Central, it's a done deal here too. The Brewers are cruising into the playoffs. National League West, it's a Dodgers victory here, but a lot closer than I thought. Gotta admit, 3 teams from the West making the playoffs. Never saw this coming. Who is going to be the hotter team entering the end of the season? The Padres or Diamondbacks? Another year of the Diamondbacks turning it on at the end? I'm not impressed by this team, but they have something going for them. The past few years have shown the teams going into the playoffs with the hot hand have been the most successful. Who will be this year's Diamondbacks and Rangers? The next few weeks will definitely separate some of these teams. The bye teams have not been able to turn it on after extended time off as well. What's the deal with that? Hey, this was a great topic. I truly apologize for running a bit long this week. It was hard to cover everybody in 20 minutes. I'd like to give a shout out to the classic show with the legendary Mel Allen, This Week in Baseball. I used to spend my Saturday mornings listening to that show, and I hope you enjoyed our 11th episode of Mo's World, the Baseball Podcast. Remember, we release new episodes every Friday, supposedly about 20 minutes long. Thank you for listening, and please spread the word to your friends. Next week's episode will dive into the world of analytics and some of the new stats you need to know. Whose world is it? It's Mo's World.
Awesome!